Have you got to meet Trump?
Oh, I met him in Kentucky.
What was that like?
It was very brief. Well,
Okay.
the event was very interesting. I was there for the Derby, and I was up. There's a glass cafe above the Kentucky Derby grounds. There's about 150,000 people there. It was the first Derby after COVID, and Trump was. Everyone knew. Like the whole crowd of 150,000 people, plus the 300 or so in this restaurant, they all knew Trump was going to show up in the afternoon. It was like being in Rome, I imagine, or being around the Kennedys back in the 1960s. Like the place was just buzzing. He's so famous. Like it's just an insane level of fame, right? Because, well, he was a TV star, and that's not an easy thing to pull off. And for quite a while, and he was a real estate magnate. And that's also quite difficult. And then he was president, and ridiculously controversially. Like he's insanely famous. Yeah. And you could just feel that emperor-like worship in the air, you know? And this is actually, I think, a flaw in the American political system, because in Britain, the Queen bears that. She's a figurehead. Imagine there's 4 branches of government. Okay. Executive, legislative, judicial, and symbolic. The president bears the symbolic weight in the U.S. It's not good because that tilts the polity towards deification of the president. That's why you have the first lady. It's like, what the hell's that? Yeah. There's no first lady in Canada. Yeah. You know, nobody cares who the prime minister's wife is, and that's right. That's rightly so. It's like the first lady. Well, that's the queen. Yeah. You guys don't need a queen, but you want one.
All right, so you're at this Kentucky Derby. You're feeling the energy. How did you meet him?
I had flown out that day to do a talk, convocation somewhere, and I came back just as the air space was closed, and then I made it to the Derby like with about 10 minutes to spare before they locked it down. The army was everywhere. The place was just buzzing, and Trump strolled in, and it was like, well, that much fame gives people a tremendous charisma, you know, and it's a lot for one person. I think he has a good family, and thank God for that, and he seems to have managed that well. And I know people who know him, and they have faith in him privately. He's a bully, and a very good one. He's an unbelievably sophisticated 13-year-old bully. Interesting. Like his ability to wield a nickname is unparalleled.
No one can match
He's
it.
great. He's great at that. And that's a real superpower, although... And it's a mixed blessing because he's a 13-year-old bully. You know, I'm not trying to reduce him. Yeah. Being a 13-year-old bully is kind of handy when you're dealing with the dictator of North Korea. You know, you want that kind of playground unpredictability. It's like, don't fuck with me. Mm-hmm. You don't know what I'm capable of. You know, and a more sensible person, you could argue, hasn't got that. You know, and so I don't know what to make of that. There's that disagreeable trickster element to Trump that also gives him that vicious sense of humor. He's insanely funny.
Oh, he is.
I have a book, which I love. It's a library edition, beautiful volume called The Collected Poetry of Donald Trump. And it's all his tweets typeset beautifully. And they're hilarious.
They are.
Like he's got a barbed tongue, man. Yeah. He's a viper.
The other thing is, you know, people keep talking about his temperament and how stupid he is. This is what people say. But I've never seen him lose his cool in any of these interviews.
You don't do what Trump's done and be stupid. Yeah. Like, first of all, so I have a friend for whom he built a multi-million-dollar building in Chicago. And he finished it below cost and on time. Well, there's no more corrupt industry than construction, especially in Chicago or New York. Well, Trump played that successfully, and he built those buildings. You know, and my friend told me that Trump was there every week, walking through the building, checking things out, you know, and he was successful at that. Mm-hmm. And then he was a reality TV star for a long time. That's not easy. Yeah. Right. So he's got that showman element that's really integral to American culture. Yeah. You know, you saw that on display in the Elvis movie, for example, with what's his name? Colonel.
Okay, I didn't watch that.
Oh, it's great. Okay. It's great. It's great. It's a great American movie. And Colonel, I don't remember the name of him, his manager, but he's a real charlatan, a showman, almost a psychopath. And yet he made Elvis. Like it was this weird, this is part of American culture, right? There's that talent and ability combined with this entrepreneurial showmanship, and Trump has that, you know, and that's a power too.